There are a ton of amazing legendary weapons in Fallout 4, but in this video I will be showing you 10 legendary melee weapons that you can easily miss. But first, before this video starts, if you're a fan of the Fallout games and the Fallout TV show, click the link in the pinned comment of this video to join my Fallout Discord server, where you can discuss the Fallout TV show, find other people to play Fallout 76 with, or just talk about anything related to Fallout. To get the first weapon on the list, head over to Swan's Pond. When you get here, you'll need to approach the water and then shoot the white swan in the water to summon the swan boss. Now this will be a tough fight during the early levels of the game, but it's worth it as you can loot the Furious Power Fist off of Swan's body. This is a very overpowered legendary melee weapon because of the perk on it, which will make the weapon do more and more damage every time you hit the same target. So if you keep hitting that same enemy, the damage boost will stack very quickly, allowing you to easily defeat even the most difficult enemies in the game. The next weapon on the list can be found at Hubris Comics, which will be right beside Swan's Pond. When you enter Hubris Comics, take out all of the ghouls, then look for the display case near the front door. And inside of that locked display case, you'll find the legendary Grognak's axe. This is one of the best early game melee weapons due to its higher starting base damage, and the perk on it, which will make this weapon stagger your enemies more when you hit them, and it will apply a bleed effect to your target, which will do more damage to them over time. Now while you're at Hubris Comics, you should also go to the top floor of the building, and here in these lockers you'll find the legendary Grognak's costume. This armor will work very well with all of the weapons that I mentioned in this video, because the perk on it will increase your strength and increase your melee damage. To get the next legendary weapon, head over to Pickman Gallery. When you get here, take out all of the raiders in the gallery and then make your way to the secret tunnels underneath the gallery, and here you'll find Pickman being held up by more raiders. If you defend Pickman, he will give you a key to a safe in the first room of the gallery, and in that safe you'll find the legendary Pickman's blade. This is another amazing legendary melee weapon because of its fast attack speed and the perk on it, which will apply a bleed effect to your target, which will do an extra 25 damage to your target over time. But on top of that, it will come with a stealth blade, which will increase the damage the weapon does when doing sneak attacks. The next weapon on the list will come from the Dunwich Borer's location. When you get here, you'll need to fight through the raiders and the ghouls in the underground tunnels, and at the end of the tunnel you'll find this hole in the ground full of water. Now if you're wearing power armor, take that off first, then jump in and swim down. This will lead you to a new room with an altar in it, and on that altar you'll find the Kremvh's tooth. The Kremvh's tooth is another very overpowered melee weapon as it will do a lot of damage, and the perk on it will apply both a bleed and poison effect to your target, which will keep constant pressure on them, making it a lot harder for them to heal themselves. For the next legendary melee weapon, head over to Walden Pond, which will be right here on your map. When you get here, look for this drain pipe that you can enter, which will take you into a raider hideout. After you clear out all of the raiders, make your way to this storage room at the end of the tunnel, and here you'll find the Big Jim legendary melee weapon on this table. Now this is a great melee weapon as it will do some good damage, but the perk on it will give you a 20% chance to cripple your target's leg. For the next weapon, head over to Nick Valentine's detective agency in Diamond City. Then when you get here, you'll need to pick up the Marty Bullfinch case file. This will be a short side quest, and at the end of it you'll dig up a grave that will have some valuable items inside of it, including the legendary Shem Drowne sword. This is a really good melee weapon, especially if you're using it on human enemies, as it will have a base damage of 32, which is pretty good, a medium attack speed, and it will do a high amount of radiation damage on each hit. The next weapon on the list will be a very strong legendary baseball bat, but to get it you'll need to go to the safari park in Nuka World and talk to Cito. Now at first, Cito will come off as a crazy caveman that you'll be able to kill to take over the park, but if you talk to Cito nicely and agree to help him protect his family, and also allow him to peacefully live in the park after it's cleared out, he will give you the legendary Cito Shiny Slugger, which will be a very strong legendary melee weapon, due to its high base damage and the perk on it, which will refill your action points on critical hits, making it work very well with melee builds. The next weapon will come from the vendor Caitlyn, who will be in the Nuka World Market. Caitlyn will be selling the legendary Throatslicer melee weapon. The Throatslicer is a better version of the legendary Pickman's Blade, as it will do more damage on each hit, and the perk on it will also apply 25 bleed damage to your target. To get the next weapon on the list, head over to the Cliff's Edge Hotel in Far Harbor. In the basement of this hotel, you'll find Vault 118. To get into this vault, you'll need to interact with the intercom outside of it, then tell the person on the other end that you're there to investigate a murder. Once you're let into the vault, look for the big ballroom, and beside the couch on your right you'll find the legendary Fencebuster baseball bat. This is another great legendary baseball bat weapon, but the perk on the Fencebuster makes it ignore 30% of your target's damage and energy resistances, making you hit harder with this weapon. To get the next weapon, you'll need to go to the Echo Lake Lumber location in Far Harbor. When you get here, clear out all of the ghouls, then look for this ruined building. Make your way to the attic of the building, and here you'll find a red chest with the legendary Harvester weapon inside of it. This is a very overpowered weapon that you can easily miss. The Harvester will have a very low base damage, but it will also have a very fast attack speed. So even though you'll only do small amounts of damage to your enemies every time you hit them, you will hit those enemies many times in a short amount of time. And the perk on it will give you a chance to stagger your target every time you hit them, which can result in you stun locking your enemies so they can't fight back. And the final weapon on the list will come from the Nucleus in Far Harbor. When you get here, you'll need to talk to Grand Zealot Richter, and he will give you a side quest called the Heretic. Now this is a pretty simple and straightforward quest, but at the end of it you'll be given the legendary Adam's Judgement. The Adam's Judgement may be one of the strongest melee weapons in Fallout 4, because of its very high base damage and the perk on it, which will make it also do 100 radiation damage to your target every time you hit them, which equals out to a lot of damage per hit. And those are 11 amazing legendary melee weapons that you don't want to miss in Fallout 4, but I would love to know which of these are your favorites in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.